Hello, my dear students. I hope so all of you are fine. So, you know, now in science we have already entered inside the atom. So, let us try to find out who discovered the atom and what were the findings of the atom. So, today we are going to discuss about two different scientists. Okay, the first one is John Dalton and second one is J.J. Thomson. Fine. So, first one let us see, that is Dalton's atomic theory we are going to say. So, it was just a theory, not any model of an atom. So, he just proposed a theory in the year around 1803 AD. Okay, he was a British scientist, okay, and he put his celebrated Dalton's atomic theory. Now, according to this theory, what did he say? He said that the matter is made up of atoms. You know, you have learned last time that what is matter, fine, and we have already learned about what matter comprises of. Fine. So, according to this theory, he said that the matter is made up of atom, like how Rishi Muni Kanad and Democritus also said. Even Dalton said the same thing, that the matter is made up of atoms, and these atoms, if you see, they are indivisible. That means even Rishi Muni Kanad said that atoms cannot be destroyed, okay, and they cannot be divided further. Okay, the same thing was said by Dalton, that they are indivisible. That means you cannot divide the atom further, as well as it is indestructible. That means you can destroy most of the things, but at the atomic level you cannot destroy it. So that means you cannot destroy an atom. So that is why it is also said that it was also said that it was indestructible. Okay, so atoms are indivisible and indestructible. Then if we see the atoms of different elements, if we take any single element, then that element's atom will be looking alike. All the atoms of an element are alike. Whereas if we compare it with another element, the atoms of one element are different from the atom of the other. So according to him, he said that different elements have different atoms with different masses. Okay, so all of them have different masses. Like you can compare yourself with your friend, the mass of yours and his or hers mass will be different. The same way, an element is having a certain mass, that element's mass will not be same as that of the other. Like for example, if you take the atomic mass of let's suppose what is that, hydrogen's atomic mass is 1, okay, helium's is 2 plus 2 4, okay, so 4, and let's suppose take sodium's is around 37.5. so everybody's is 30, it is around 11 plus 11 23 is the mass of the sodium. So that means atoms are different of different elements, as well as the masses also will be different. So that was according to Dalton's atomic theory. So again, let me repeat what he said. He said that matter is made up of atoms. Atoms are indivisible and they cannot be destroyed or indestructible. All atoms of an element, particular element, are alike. But if we compare it with the other element, the atoms are different. You can see over here, there are pictures of copper here and iron here. So you can see the atoms of both of them are different. Okay, as well as the masses will be different. Okay, so about atomic masses and all, you are going to study in standard, in this standard only, in the later part of this chapter. Fine. Then let us try to perform an activity to prove his theory. Okay, so what, suppose if we take two objects, like one object is a solid ball, okay, and second object, if you take a bundi laddu, and if you try to press both of them with your palm, fine, if you take a solid ball and a bundi laddu, I hope so everybody knows about bundi laddu, and you must have all eaten also the bundi laddu, right? So if you try a ball to press, fine, and if you take a bundi laddu, which one will be will be pressed easily? Obviously it will be the bundi laddu. Okay, so you can see that if we press hard, the bundi laddu will also break into pieces, whereas a solid ball we can hardly press it. Fine. So what can we conclude from this is that the solid ball cannot be pressed easily, whereas the bundi laddu can be easily pressed and even it breaks into smaller pieces. So what can we conclude from here? That we can say that if we try to cut, the solid ball, okay, we can cut it with the help of a sharp knife. You see that inside the ball there is no internal structure. Okay, there is no internal structure at all for a solid ball. So it is just, the mass is distributed all around and there is no internal structure which is seen here. Whereas, okay, if we take a bundi laddu, okay, so bundi laddu has internal structure, and this internal structure is due to nothing but the bundis. Fine, the bundis which are sticking to each other, and these bundis are making the internal structure of the bundi laddu. Whereas if we take a solid ball, we can see that there is no internal structure at all. So from this we can compare, from this activity only we can tell about the Dalton's atomic theory. So he said that the atom is like that of a solid ball. Okay, he said that an atom is like a hard solid sphere. Fine. So this sphere does not have any internal structure. So according to his theory, he said that an atom is like that of a solid ball, which is hard as well as solid, and there is no internal structure. Fine. And the mass of that ball is uniformly distributed. Okay, so here also he said that the mass is uniformly distributed in an atom. Why? Because there is no internal structure, so the mass of that ball is uniformly distributed everywhere. Fine. Then but it was J.J. Thomson who put forth in his theory that there is an internal structure, and this internal structure you can see over here that there are some circle like things. These are nothing but the negatively charged particle. He said that there are negatively charged particles within an atom. Okay, and this negatively charged particles have the mass less than a hydrogen atom. Okay, that means if you take a hydrogen atom, so if you will be studying about the modern periodic table in standard 10th. In that you will be studying that in that table hydrogen is the element which is placed first. So its atomic number and all you are going to study in this lesson only. Its number is 1. Why? Because it has 1 electron in it. But as if you compare the whole atom, hydrogen atom, its mass is 1800 times more as compared to that of an electron. So you can imagine how negligible mass is of the electrons. So he not only said that there are negatively charged particles, he also demonstrated experimentally that the mass of these electrons is 1800 times less than that of a hydrogen atoms. And later on he called these negatively charged particles, later on it was named, these negatively charged particles were named as electrons. Fine. Now that we have come to know that an atom consists of the electrons. So if we it was for the first time it was told that an atom consists of an internal structure, and that internal structure is nothing but having the presence of negatively charged particles, and which were later on named as electrons. So you could see now, you can compare the discoveries of the two scientists. One said that atom as a whole is it is a hard solid sphere with no internal structure, whereas J.J. Thomson's model said that that there is an internal structure, and this internal structure mostly consists of the negatively charged particles. Fine. So atom is a solid ball with no internal structure, whereas J.J. Thomson said that there is an internal structure. Fine. So now if we try to observe the different types of substances. Okay, like you can see here, different types of substances are placed at the bottom of the this slide. You can see that ball, pencil, chalk, metal, vessel, paper. In any one of them you consider, are they charged? No, they are electrically neutral. Okay, they are electrically neutral. Neutral means what? When the two positive charges and negative charges are balanced, then the net charge becomes 0. And when the net charge becomes 0, we say that that substance is electrically neutral. Suppose they were not electrically neutral, then we would have, if we had touched any of this substance, we would have got shock. Correct, So since there are no charges, or I'm not saying no charges, since they are neutral, we do not get, if we touch them and all, we do not get a shock. Fine. So all the substances are electrically neutral. So if this is the case, then Thomson said that there is an internal structure with negatively charged particles. Correct, So these negatively charged particles are there. That means the molecules of substances, suppose all these substances are electrically neutral, then we can say that molecules of substances are also all these substances are electrically neutral, as well as the atoms which combine chemically to form these molecules also should be electrically neutral. But it is, according to J.J. Thomson, it is not true, because he said that there is internal structure comprising of the negatively charged structure. So later on, this difficulty was solved by J.J. Thomson. So what he said, he gave a plum and pudding model of an atom. So according to this model, okay, it was the first model of an atom. Dalton just gave a theory, just wrote, whereas J.J. Thomson prepared a model of an atom, how an atom can be. So his atomic model was also called as plum and pudding model. You might have heard about a pudding, right? And plum pudding means the pudding which has the presence of plums in it as the seeds. Fine. So his theory, his model was, looking like a plum and pudding. You can even take a watermelon, cut to watermelon. So it looks like in the watermelon, the red part is there, and in that red part, which is the pulp of the fruit, that is watermelon, and the seeds, black seeds, are embedded in that red part. The same way you can compare the plum pudding model, in which you can see these seeds, electron, negatively charged particles. Fine. So this was the first model of atomic structure. And he said, according to this model, which was proposed by him in the year 1904, okay, according to this model, he said that the positive charge is distributed throughout the atom. You can see that the positive charge, which is shown in red color over here right now, is distributed throughout the atom, and in this positive charge which is distributed throughout the atom, these negatively charged particles, or which are called as electrons, are embedded inside it. So it was like this. Fine. So the distributed positive charge which is there balances the negatively charged particles, and since both of these are getting balanced, we say that an atom as a whole is electrically neutral. Fine. So now I hope so your question is answered, that why are the substances electrically neutral? It's because the positive charge is getting balanced by the negative charge. So this was J.J. Thomson's model. Fine. And this also shows that the atomic mass distribution according to Thomson's atomic model and Dalton's atomic model is uniform. Okay. So mass distribution is same according to both these models. Fine. So we can compare so plum pudding, let's do you know about plum pudding? So plum pudding is actually a sweet dish which is prepared mostly during the Christmas time. Okay, so it was prepared first in the western countries, and this structures what you can see over here are nothing but the plum seeds which were embedded inside this pudding. So nowadays pudding is prepared by either putting the raisins or dates. So this was the J.J. Thomson's plum pudding model of an atom. Okay, so next time we are going to learn about the Rutherford's nuclear model, in which you will come to know how these electrons are present within the atom. Are they simply embedded inside the positive charge, or are they revolving in the inside the atom in the form inside in their specific orbits? So this we are going to study in the next video about the Rutherford's scattering experiment as well as Rutherford's nuclear models. So till then students, bye and thank you.